Peace, family. This is your brother, Mr. Holipsism. I'm here to talk to you on this Sunday morning. Very overcast and dreary out here, and compared to a couple of days ago, where it was 90 degrees. But I won't get into that. I made this video because I was invited to Generation X website, and I believe the video that made them invite me was a video called message to the black masses: do not listen to the conscious community. So I got there and I uploaded the video to that site, and I also put a few videos, just to give I figure like I take the videos from my videos that I've done on YouTube, put them on there so that people can have an idea of where I'm coming from. So one of the videos that I put up was how to expose a coon with one question. And of course, when I did that, I got a few people, like I'm used to trolls and people, but there were some people that came on and attacked me saying that I was being disingenuous, that the question was a setup question, it was a gotcha question, that I was, clearly had an agenda, and da 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 da. And I plead guilty to all of the above. The amazing part is that people could not realize that, yes, I do have an agenda. It is not a hidden agenda. As a matter of fact, the smoking gun is on my website, holipsism.com. Go to the About section and you will see what Mr. Holipsism is all about. It's a clear and concise agenda. I am for the development, the creation, the implementation, and to defend and protect a social, economic, and political infrastructure controlled by Africans in any community that they exist in, anywhere on the planet. That's Africans in America, that's Africans in Brazil, that's Africans in Australia, that's Africans on the continent, that's Africans in whatever area in London, anywhere that Africans exist. I believe that they should control their social and economic and political environment. That's my agenda. I am clear with that agenda and have been clear with that agenda since day one on YouTube. Now, what irritates me is dealing with people, and the reason why, well, you know what? Let me focus on this video. How to expose a coon with one question. The question is clearly a gotcha question. And if you notice, and when I edited the video, when the guy finally answered the question, I ended the conversation and got off the phone. Because the purpose of the question is similar to this. I'm going to give you an example. If the Miami Heat are playing the Dallas Mavericks, and I'm the coach, and the Miami Heat is down by 20 points at the half, and we go into the locker room, and I'm talking to my team, and I ask my team, do you feel the Dallas Mavericks are a superior team to you? What is the purpose of me asking that question? Is the purpose of me having that asking that question so I can sit down and have a deep, philosophical, interesting conversation with my teammate, not my teammates, but with my team? Is that the purpose of me asking that? Or is the purpose of me asking that question to separate the wheat from the chaff? And I think we all know, if you know me, you know what the purpose of that question was. It's to expose these people who constantly stick their nose in business concerning African collective problems. And I don't know how many videos I'm going to make on this before these guys get it through their thick freaking Negro skulls. Either you are for a socioeconomic and political infrastructure for African people, or you are not. There is no shades of fucking gray. And when niggas talk about I irritate them, you you can't hold a candle to how much it irritates me when you fucking rugged individualist Negroes jump your ass into conversations that don't got nothing. If you're a rugged individualist, take your rugged individual ass, live your fucking life, and stick your nose out of African business. Why is that so difficult a concept for you idiots to understand? And the reason why I used the picture of Charles Xavier and Magneto is because I think it just encapsulates the problem in our community. I respect their little ideological discussion much more than ours because at least Charles Xavier and Erik Lensherr, Magneto, both care about mutants. You know what I'm saying? And before, and I could just feel it. I can feel the Negroes coming on. I know both of them are white. I don't give a shit. That's not the point that I'm making. I'm not talking about whether Magneto is white. That's irrelevant. I'm talking about the ideological rift between the both of them and how I'm comparing that to the so-called ideological rift between the African-centered people and the integrationalists and the rugged individualists. And what I'm saying is I respect their disagreement more than I respect ours. Because at least Charles Xavier, despite the fact that he wanted to live in peace with the humans, Charles Xavier at least had the sense to recognize that we need a place where mutants can be comfortable, where mutants can be surrounded by other mutants so that they wouldn't be picked on and attacked. He created a mutant school. So even in his quest to have peace amongst the humans, he had the sense enough to have something that mutants controlled. What about you idiots? What about you? The only thing I keep hearing from you guys is just shades of gray. Oh, well, what is African culture? I mean, can we clearly define African culture? What is European culture? Da 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 da. And then these Negroes had the nerve to say that European culture is clearly superior because check the scoreboard. Well, how about I say that? It's halftime. My team is down by 20. The Dallas Mavericks are up by 20. So clearly, the Dallas Mavericks are a superior team. So why don't we just take our uniforms off and not even play the second half? What are we playing for? Better yet, if you're a player and I ask you that question and you go and tell me about all of the accomplishments and you lord over the Dallas Mavericks, then what I'm going to ask the simple question, and this is the question that I've been asking since I've been making these videos. Why the fuck do you got that Miami Heat uniform on? If you think that the Dallas Mavericks are clearly a superior team, then take our fucking uniform off, put on a Dallas Maverick uniform, because that way I can know who the hell I'm playing against. And that's why I'm down with without Charles Xavier, with Erik Lensherr. I'm down with Magneto in that discussion. Because Magneto thing is, listen, why are we trying to live in peace with these people when we are clearly superior to them? I can control magnetic fields. What can you do? You have mutants that can control the elements, mutants with all these talents and powers that far exceed human beings. We should be ruling. Why the hell should we be settling for just being in peace and being underneath their rule? And I agree with him. That's why I always loved Magneto as a so-called villain in the comic books, because in actuality, he wasn't a villain. He was a mutant nationalist. He was centered around taking care of and making sure that mutants were in power so that they could be protected against the humans. And every call that he made that the humans were going to do to attack mutants, he was 100% correct. When they made the cure, he said that they would weaponize it, and they did. And this is a spoiler, so don't listen to the rest of this because I just saw X-Men First Class. In this movie, he told Charles Xavier that the moment that we saved the humans, that they would turn on us. And that's exactly what they did. Him and Charles Xavier reached a point toward the end when he said, Charles, I want the same thing that you want. And Charles said to him, no, my friend, I do not. He says, we don't want the same things. And that's when Magneto realized that I have to separate from Charles. I have to get my own thing going on. So he left Charles and he told him, listen, either you can stay with Charles and try to fight for and defend the people who hate your guts, or you can come with me and we can rule like kings and queens. He didn't kill Charles. Charles was still his friend, but Charles had an agenda that was clearly different from the agenda that Magneto had. And I'm saying Mr. Holism has an agenda. And my agenda is the empowerment of African people across the globe. There are no shades of gray when it comes to that. There is no reason to have a deep and meaningful intellectual conversation with someone who's on the opposite end of that spectrum. You have picked a side, and I have picked a side. So we're going to play this game out and see whose side, or who actually is going to come out on top, whose ideology is going to be the one that rises to the top. Where are we going to end up in this whole big play that we're going? Just like in that movie, they want to paint Magneto as the bad guy, but as far as I can see, if he's got the interest of his own kind, how does that make him bad? I mean, if anything, Charles Xavier's actions have put the mutants in more danger, because it's very naive to think that you do the right thing and that you treat people with kindness, that they're going to do the same for you in return. I don't even want to have the discussion, to be quite honest with you. I don't want to fight. Unlike Magneto, I'm not trying to fight against the humans. In my thing, all I'm trying to do is establish that mutant school. I'm trying to actually do what Charles Xavier did, which is kind of ironic since he wants to live in harmony with the humans, but I notice that he doesn't have any human students in school with the mutant students. I just find that interesting. So there's a little bit of Magneto in Charles Xavier. Little bit. Anyway, that's all I had to say on that. It just things that irritated me. I guess what set me off was when I heard a certain member on there say that he was irritated by a tactic that I use. I don't give a fuck what you irritated by. The only thing I want to know is who the fuck you are. And once you identify who you are, then I know how to deal with you. Anyway, that's that. Holler at you good people later. Enjoy your Sunday, and I'll holler at you later. Peace.